Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here for the project kickoff meeting of Nike Fit 360 Smart Shoe. Myself, Bharatvir Panduga. I am the project manager for this Nike Fit 360 Smart Shoe project, and I'll be leading the presentation for today. So today marks the start of a major initiative that blends performance footwear with cutting-edge AI technology. So this project will bring in multiple teams together: engineering, data science, design, marketing, supply chain, and compliance to build something very futuristic and very innovative. A smart shoe that adapts to the user in real time. Sounds interesting? Yep. Over the next 15 minutes, I'll walk you through the different aspects of the project. So I'll be going through the introduction of the project overview, the goals of the project, what are the responsibilities and roles of the key stakeholders that are involved in the project, what are the timelines that we're going to target, the milestones, the risks and constraints. And we're also going to discuss about the communication plan that we're going to employ in this product, and also go through the immediate next steps right after the call. So coming to the Nike Fit 360. So what is Nike Fit 360 and what are we actually building in this project? So the Fit 360 is Nike's next leap in the performance technology. So at the heart of this product is the idea of a shoe that adapts to the user instead of a user adapting to the shoe. Confused? Okay, let me just make it more clear. So let's just recall our memories. So how many of us have walked into a shoe store and by the first glance of it or by the first look of it, we felt like I definitely need to purchase the shoe. But once after we try on, put it on the feet, it might not fit in. Maybe because we have a flat foot versus the shoe was designed for a cupped foot, or vice versa. Or sometimes you might end up buying the product, using it a couple of times, and you realize the cushioning is not appropriate for the feet. Well, that's not an issue anymore. So with this product that we're going to launch, so we have a few core important technologies that we're going to integrate into the product, one of which is AI-powered cushioning. So the cushion of the shoes that we're going to build for our product will be powered with powerful sensors. So these sensors are going to track what is the stride length of the user, what is the impact pressure of the user, whether he's running, jogging, and also takes into consideration what kind of terrain that the user is performing the activity, and feeds the information back to our machine learning AI integrated programming platform. And once the AI programming platform receives the data, so it adjusts the cushioning accordingly. So the second aspect of it is the sensor feedback. As we've discussed, like all the data that is collected from the sensors are getting fed into our Nike Run app, which is the core app that we have for Nike. So all the key metrics are recorded into the app. And the third component is we are not only going to build this shoe just for comfort, but this is also for competition. So it's engineered for people who are seeking comfort as well as people who are seeking peak performance, like maybe elite runners, athletes, etc. And performance tech moment. So Nike is already a pioneer innovator in the field of sport technology, but adding Fit 360 to the Nike's catalog, we are adding legacy to the Nike, and we are adding to the global sport innovation that Nike has gone through. So coming to the project goals, the goals are very clear and concise. So one, we need to develop a very high performing smart shoe that adapts to the users it's not the other way around. The users are not getting adapted to the shoe is adapting to the user. And second, we have to integrate the AI and the sensor stack seamlessly. So sensors are basically the heart and soul of our product. So if the sensors stop working, then probably we're not any different from a regular shoe. So the communication between the sensors and the AI and the Nike app have to be seamlessly integrated. And three, we have to satisfy all the performance standards and regulatory requirements, be it privacy regulatory requirements or the industry regulatory requirements, or be it the satisfaction of the users. So we are going to be compliant with all of those. And finally, prepare a global launch with Nike's brand alignment. So once we plan to have this product demonstrated in the next year's Nike event, so our product can reach to a wider audience. And we are launching a global introduction in that event. So that's one of our main goals. And moving on to the project scope. So since this project is looping in so many different teams, so we wanted to make the project in scope and out of scope items real clear, so that everyone is focused on a general agenda that the entire team is working onto. So the teams that are currently working on any of the non-digital footwear lines, we are going to hold that off for the next 1.5 years. So that's going to be out of scope at the moment. And also the apparel integration that some of the teams are working on. So both of these are not in the scope anymore, at least for the foreseeable future. So since our shoe mainly focuses on AI and engineering, so since the sensors and everything are like a heart and soul of the product, so engineering and AI modeling is definitely in scope, and also the sensor integration. So we need to have seamless integration between the Nike app and the product, and also the app development. We're not only integrating the key metrics into the app, but we're also trying to build a dashboard which provides key insights and insights that can help athletes or users to enhance the performance. And also alongside, we are looking for proper branding, like reaching out to the global market and having it more appealing for the users, and coming up with a marketing strategy so that we can be a household name and all of the users that are currently adapted to using Nike shoes. So coming to the stakeholders, since we are a large group, so we have many key stakeholders at different level of expertise, of understanding and knowledge of the product. So some of our key stakeholders include engineering leads who would be responsible for designing the product, like what materials or what kind of sensors need to be used. AI leads who are mostly working on what kind of machine learning algorithms to be used while developing the product. Design leads who are mostly focused on the appealingness of the product, whether it's be it the design, be it the color patterns and other stuff. So next is the marketing directors who are responsible for taking this product to the wider audience, and supply chain managers who are responsible for manufacturing the product, making sure we have enough material or enough equipment for producing these shoes, and also the compliance managers who always monitor on and make sure like we are in compliant with all the rules and regulations. So since we are at different level of expertise, so our communication approach will be more detailed at each of the team level. So even though we'll send out a global communication, we will also have individual stakeholder level communication that we'll send out on each of the global communication as a follow-up. And coming to the technical overview, we have 4 technical features or technical aspects to this product. First is the pressure sensor, which is like the heart and soul of the product, which tracks the stride patterns, which tracks the force in real time and also the terrains. And the second is machine learning model, which adapts the shoe cushioning based on the running dynamics, like whether be it a sprinter, be it a regular jogger, or be it a walker. If you're walking on a road or a grass, so our machine learning model would adapt to the cushioning. And the third one is Nike Run App Sync. So the data that's coming from the sensors need to be seamlessly integrated into our Nike ecosystem. And fourth is a performance dashboard. Apart from just integrating our data into the Nike Run app, we also want to develop personal insights for people who are focused more on peak performance. So for that, we are going to build a separate performance dashboard, which is specifically accessible for the Fit 360 owners. And coming to the project timelines, we have scheduled the project in a phased approach, and some of these phases can run in parallel. So we are starting with R&D, which we are expecting to complete by the end of Q1 2026. So we need to finalize on what type of material we're going to use, what kind of sensors we're going to deploy. And by the end of Q2 2026, we're planning to have a solid prototype ready so that we have it ready for testing. By end of Q3 2026, we're planning for the testing to be complete, be it endurance testing, be it performance testing, or we're also planning to collaborate with a few athletes. So we're also doing athlete trials of the product. So once that's done, we are moving on to manufacturing. By the end of Q4 2026, we should be able to have or equipped with all the products and the manufacturing materials that are needed for the product. And by 2027 Q1, when the official Nike event is due, so we are going to launch our product globally and making it available for wider audiences. And coming to the budget overview, so most of our budget is going into R&D and manufacturing. So there's been a lot of discussion that went on the back end and how to allocate the budget. So here is what we've come up to: 35% in R&D, 30% in manufacturing, marketing 20%, and for testing 10%. We've added 5%, left a 5% slack for any of the unknown events that we've not accounted for. So risks and mitigations. So any new product will definitely come with a few risks. We are also anticipating a few. One is sense of failure, which is a critical component, because if that fails, like, our product is nothing but a mere shoe. So we need to have redundant testing protocols and quality assurance to make sure all the sensors work properly. And the second is the supply delays. With today's market, the supply chain is always a question at times. So to mitigate that, we need to have some backup suppliers ready, and also have some slack or buffer inventory of the items that we need to manufacture the shoe in stock all the times. And app privacy concerns. In a day of data, in this modern world, the data is everything. So since we track the data of performance of the athletes and so on, so we need to make sure, like, all of our data governance and privacy frameworks need to be established. So we need to be extra sure that none of the data is mishandled. And also adaptation, like whenever it comes to a new product, especially in the technology market, always there is a risk of adoption. So for that, we probably need to try out some beta programs with elite runners and influencers and make sure our product is well known to the market. So for the communication plan, we're going with weekly updates. Since we're cross-functional teams, we need to have weekly updates where we sync up with the progress and concerns. We also need to have monthly reviews with executive stakeholders. And for the project communication, we are going to use Teams for all the instant messaging and also meeting scheduling. And for documents, we're going to use a shared OneDrive repository for all the requirement documentation, research documentation and stuff. So what are the next? Right after this call, we are going to send out an email with a handout document that would list all the roles and responsibilities for individual teams. So please make sure to go ahead and review the roles and responsibilities and confirm if you're aligned with it. And the R&D team would go ahead and start preparing the initial requirements documentation. And individual stakeholders, please meet with your teams and align with the requirements and the approach of how you're going to tackle the situation. And also begin prototyping and architecture planning. Moving on, any questions? The floor is open. Also, if you're not having any questions at the moment, within the email that we're going to send as a follow-up, so it would also have a link to the Microsoft Excel document where you could ask your questions, and we would probably respond you back as in the email, or probably we are going to have a follow-up next week. So we are going to answer all of those questions in the follow-up as well. Thank you.